White Sox. Cheers.
Cheers, Susan.
Oh, cheers.
John. And who else do we have here?
And
It's a special guest.
our very special guest. Please welcome my former boss, the man who started me in the radio industry many moons ago, John Clay. Welcome, John.
Welcome,
Hi,
John.
how are you guys? Good to see you all.
Nice to see you. And, we were just talking to John before we started this about the toast that we always make. What was it you were saying about the toast and the Italian?
I learned it years ago from an Italian guy, and I have at several weddings, when I did the toast for the bride and groom, I would make everybody switch their hands. Because Italians believe the toast should be done from the left hand. Because for the same reason a wedding ring is worn on your left hand, the reason is that that hand is supposed to be directly connected to your heart. Therefore, if you want your toast to be straight from the heart, you put that glass in your left hand and raise it from your left hand.
I like it.
Love that. That's awesome. Cheers to you
I'm
all.
going to do that from now on.
From now on.
Awesome.
Hey, John, I have a question for you because, the White Sox are all about inspiration and motivation and trying to stay positive. I mean, because, we all have learned the lesson. We've been told how to think positive, but we don't really think about it on a regular daily basis. I mean, what do you do to keep yourself motivated and positive?
I'll tell you two things. Years ago, I listened to a motivational tape. It was back in the days when some of us worked together, when I had to drive out, long drive to a studio in Monahans, Texas and back. And I listened to this motivational tape. And the one thing I carry from that day is that what you fill your head with the most is what you become. You are a walking, talking, living, self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you fill your head and make that choice, it's not whether it happens to be in your head, but if you choose to have positive thoughts in your head, positive things happen in your life. And if you find yourself having negative thoughts, you have to send them away. You got to make them go away because they will creep in and take over. If you fill your head with negative thoughts, negative things come into your life. It's the way it works.
It's the law of attraction.
Like a White Sox.
He's one of us.
Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that.
You're entirely
We are
welcome.
so happy to have you here with us, and I'm so excited to share you on our show. John and Susan and I have known each other for so long.
There's many years.
Yeah. And I'm so glad that Diana finally got to meet him because she's heard a lot about you, John.
Quit hogging. You quit hogging the conversation there, Diane.
Bad John.
Bad John.
Wait a minute.
Will you tell our viewers your title and what it is you do, briefly?
I work for a company called Dial Global. Our company provides services and programming to the radio industry, including, sports programming, talk shows, that kind of thing. I work for the music division. We produce, my job is to produce music playlists for radio stations around the country. Some are direct me to one radio station. Some of them are playlists that go via satellite to hundreds of radio stations at once. So I'm very fortunate that after all these years, my radio experience has given me a job where I get to work at home. It's awesome.
Oh, you go to work in your bunny slippers.
Well, wait a minute. You've been looking at my closet?
I love it.
Well, it sounds like you have a job that, really makes you happy because, that's what it's really all about. That's what everybody wants, right?
That's what he feels.
There's one other thing. There's one other thing I can tell you that's kept me positively motivated for years. I used to work in Washington, D.C. at XM Satellite Radio, and it was a tough, grueling job, but I loved it. Every day when I went to work, I would take a commuter train into Union Station and get on a little shuttle bus that took us about a mile up to where the studios were. And every single, whether it was raining, or hot out, or cold out, or snowing, there were always people sleeping on the street out there. And every day, I walked into work and thought to myself, I have no problems. I have no problems. I work in a studio and talking to a microphone for a living, but for the grace of God, there go I. So every day I had the best positive attitude. And I did something called, and this is a little dated, there used to be a game show called Match Game 75, Match Game 76. And the host was Gene Rayburn. And as soon as they introduced him, they had these little sliding glass doors that would open up, and he would step down several steps onto the studio, right? And every time he did that, he clapped his hands. It was like, here we go. And every day I used to do what I call the Gene Rayburn clap, walking into where I worked because I knew I was blessed. Here we go, another good day. Do the Gene Rayburn clap.
I love it. John,
Love it.
let's clap for John. You ready?
All right.
And thank you so much, John, for joining us. And the clapping.
Oh, puppy.
She hears clapping. She wants something.
He thinks, oh, it must be time to go out.
And John, thank you so much for joining us. And a left-handed toast close to my heart. It's so good to see you, and thank you for joining the White Sox.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Glad to be part.
Cheers.